So most men say they want to look better. They say they want more confidence. They say they want to show up. They want to look good. They want to get complimented on their style. But here's the hard truth. Wanting means nothing. There's an old analogy about a chicken and pig at breakfast. The chicken contributes the egg, the pig, the bacon. The point, the chicken is involved. The pig is committed. And that's the issue. When it comes to improving themselves, most men are chickens. They dabble, they maybe watch a few videos, they're waiting for the right time. No, the reality is if you want to improve yourself, you've got to be willing to commit, you've got to be willing to follow through. So today's video, it's for the man ready to commit. The guy that wants to upgrade his appearance, his presence, his identity. He wants other people to treat him differently, and he's ready to start treating himself differently. And to do this, gents, you don't need a lot of time and you don't have to have a lot of money, but you do need to watch this video because I'm going to explain everything in 7 simple steps. Seriously, if you take action on this, I guarantee you are going to be looking better in less than a week. So are you ready, gents? Let's do this. So gents, if you are genuinely committed to improving your style, to improving your image, the first thing you need to do is to commit. You need to create a system of accountability. Now, I find one of the easiest ways to do this is to commit publicly. Find an accountability partner. This can be your spouse, your girlfriend, a coworker, somebody you respect at one of your clubs, a good friend, and this can be in person or this can be via Facebook. And if you really want to make sure you don't fail, commit to somebody that you just can't disappoint. And I know for me, that's my kids. I got a lot of them at different ages, but seriously, my 14-year-old, if I tell her I'm going to do something, not only does she remember and hold me accountable and ask me about it, but let's face it, gents, when you've got somebody that is checking in on you who you do not want to let down, well, you're already halfway there because you are going to find a way to make it happen. Next up on day 1, make some appointments. Reach out to the best stylist in your area. Maybe it's that barber you've been wanting to try. He not only gives great haircuts, but he specializes in facial hair. Get that appointment set, and if possible, prepay. Come on. Commit. Next up, call and set up an appointment with a tailor. Let them know you're going to be bringing in some clothing and that you want them to look at it, see if they can adjust it to fit you better. And if you're in the market for a suit, you got a little bit of money to spend, maybe set up an appointment at the best menswear store in your area. Yeah, that summer wedding you're going to be traveling for is still 6 months out, but why not have the clothing ready? Why not get it now? Next up, you want to set up a photo shoot. Doesn't have to be a professional, just maybe a friend with a camera, but you want to set up a time here at the end of this week. Once you've got some new pieces, we're going to be taking some headshots. We're going to be taking some new pictures for all your online profiles. In addition, over the next week, schedule 30 minutes a day that you can spend improving your image. I know for me as a busy professional, if it's not in my calendar, I'm not going to make time for it. But if you've got it scheduled, especially if you've got it scheduled with an accountability partner, boom, you are going to make it happen. All right, it's day 2. We're going to be going through your closet. You are going to divide everything into 3 piles. Keep, tailor, and get rid of. So as you're doing this, imagine how you want the new you to look. What style are you going for? What aesthetic do you imagine the man you know yourself to be would wear on a daily basis to send the message he wants to send to the world without having to open his mouth? Because you see, that's the power of your style, of your image, of your clothing, is it sends signals to those around you of who you are, what you represent, what you're about. So the clothing you're keeping, first up, it should fit you, but it also should function. It should be able to send the message. It shouldn't have any stains. It shouldn't have any tears. And if it does and you like it and you think it's repairable, again, put it into the tailor section. Now in the tailor section, this is going to be clothing that still fits the image that you want to project, but it's too large. And a lot of us have clothing like this. It needs to be adjusted, maybe slight repairs done. This you're going to put into the tailor section. And finally, the get rid of box. Now, to be honest, you're not going to throw it out today. I know a lot of you guys are apprehensive about things like this. Simply put it into a box. You're going to seal it up. You're going to put a date on it. We'll throw it into the back of the closet. Now, that tailor pile, you want to take to the tailor to get adjusted as soon as possible. By the way, if you're on a tight budget, maybe reach out to friends, to family, see if anyone can make minor adjustments. You'd be surprised how many people can do this. And if you're not intimidated by stuff like this, maybe consider making the adjustments yourself. Because yeah, if you remember Rambo, even he knew how to sew, but seriously, it's about self-reliance, right? All right, so now we're on day 3. Let's fill in the holes. We're looking to purchase essential items. Because the reality is most of us don't need a whole new wardrobe. We just need some key pieces which can augment our current clothing. For those of you that dress up, maybe it's going to be a new suit or 2. Maybe it's a sports jacket or a blazer. For those of you guys with a white collar job, but you're always moving, you're always crouching, you're in IT, you are getting behind and fixing the equipment. Maybe it's a couple pair of gray flannels or denim that's durable and is going to improve your look and replace those worn out chinos that have seen better days. For some of of you guys, it's going to be your shirts. And what's great here is if you've got something that you already love, something that already works well for you, well, don't be afraid to have that item in redundancy, meaning buying a few of the same pieces. It's okay to have a uniform, a curated look that matches your style, matches your needs, makes you look good, but yeah, is similar day to day. That is perfectly fine. And last but definitely not least, let's talk about footwear, the foundation of your style. Now, you've got an opportunity here to level up your average. What I mean by that is to step up your baseline, to bring in a style of footwear that's incredibly functional, yet style-wise sets you apart from the crowd. And I'm not saying you got to go full on with a pair of Cayman Western boots, but if you were to, guys, you need to check out today's sponsor, Tecovas. Now, gents, I grew up in Midland, Texas around horses. I've been wearing boots for a long time. And what I love about Tecovas is that these guys made the boots stylish, they're classic, and most importantly, they're comfortable and they get the job done. Now, this particular style right here, this is their Dean. Of all the boots I have, this is probably the style that I wear the most because it's got just that thinner shaft right here. They've got a zipper on the side, so they're easy on, easy off. And if that's not your style, you want something that's more traditional, then look at their ropers. They've got a wider sole, a wider and shorter heel, especially if you're going to be on your feet for 14 to 16 hours a day. But seriously, if you're looking for functional footwear that has style to it, guys, one thing I love about Western boots is the heel, because when you're standing in these things, you can't help but stand taller, stand straight, stand upright. And then there are the compliments. When it comes to style, when it comes to looks, yeah, the color right here, nothing really out of the ordinary, but the texture, the material, these boots, every time I wear them, people compliment me on them. And if you ever get the chance, get out to their stores. I was just in Atlanta, went into one of their stores looking at all the different options you can try on the boots. You can get a shoe shine. That being said, if you're looking for your first pair, maybe check out the Cartwright, this style right here, the classic Western cowboy boot. So if you're ready to grab yourself a pair of Tecovas, guys, use that link in the description of today's video. Go over to the Tecovas website. When you use that link, you're going to get the best deal on the web. And yeah, step up your footwear, even if you're on your feet, if you work every day, like I said, in IT, nothing wrong with having some style, like right here, classic roper, very clean, easy to wear with pretty much anything casual, and yeah, infinitely more stylish than a pair of sneakers. So again, gents, check out Tecovas, use that link to get the best deal on the web. All right, so you've been taking action, you've got some clothing on the way. Day 4, this is about your grooming transformation. Now, when you're going in to meet with a new stylist or barber, it helps if you can speak a bit of their language. So don't be afraid to watch a few hair tutorials, learn a little bit about the terminology when it comes to getting a good haircut. But if that's too much for you, then just simply take in pictures. Have an image, have a visual of what hairstyle you're trying to go for. That being said, if you have scheduled a time, and if this is a good stylist, they are actually going to be able to give you some suggestions. This is someone who, at least at a minimum in the last year, has cut over 100 people's hair and probably has some pretty good ideas of not only what hairstyles are in style, but also what's going to work for your face shape, your head shape, and your hair type. So before they get started, and hopefully whenever you set up the appointment, you said, hey, I want to talk with you. I want to better understand what you think is going to work for me, my lifestyle, and my particular needs. Again, this is why you've scheduled the time, why you did the research. You want to find a professional, somebody that can give you not only a haircut, but a consultation. Now, bonus points here. If you've got the budget for it, or you've got, let's say, skin issues. If you have issues biting your nails, yeah, they look horrible. Consider also setting up appointments with an esthetician who can give you a professional skin treatment along with a consultation on how to take better care of your skin, and consider going to a nail salon. Yes, you think only women go there. Here's the deal. If you're biting your nails, you will stop biting your nails once you spend $50 or more to get a really nice manicure and pedicure. We pay attention to the things we pay for. So whenever you spend money on something like that, all of a sudden you are going to treat it better. And if nothing else, these experiences are incredibly relaxing. So yeah, you'll get a little bit of downtime. Now, in addition, or if you're on a budget, guys, you can do your own skincare routine at home. It really doesn't have to be complicated. You want to start with a good face wash, not a bar soap. That's way too harsh. A face wash is going to be gentler. It can be used twice a day and isn't going to rob your skin of all the oils that it needs. Right after washing your face, you want to apply a moisturizer in the morning, an AM moisturizer in the evening, a PM moisturizer. Usually the difference is AM moisturizers can contain a bit of sunblock. And if that's too much, just make sure you're using a face moisturizer because other moisturizers could clog pores. You're also going to see exfoliators out there. You only want to use these at the most every other day, so maybe 3 times a week. The purpose of an exfoliator, by the way, is to give a little bit deeper of a wash, to use hard particles. Basically, exfoliators contain rougher materials that help to remove dead skin cells. All right, day 5, you are raising your standards. So most men, when they get dressed, they are just simply throwing clothes on their body. You are adopting a new philosophy. You realize that human beings use heuristics, which is basically they use small cues, they use past events, they use their prejudices and biases to be able to categorize the world, and they've got in their minds an idea of what a successful person in your industry looks like. So to use this to your advantage, or let's put this just to not shoot yourself in the foot, you are going to dress as a successful person in your industry where you want to be, what this person would look like. This is your uniform. This is the clothing that we are now piecing together, that we are leveling up when we went through and purged your closet. And for some of you guys, it's going to be a more professional look. For some of you guys, maybe a bit more smart casual. On your weekends, you're ditching that graphic tee. You're bringing in a classic long sleeve Henley. And again, when it comes to your grooming, you're repeating your skincare routine. You talk to your stylist. They explained how they got that look right after your haircut. You bought some of that new product. You're following the video that you shot whenever she was styling your hair, and she gave you all the tips and instructions. And you've also picked up a new fragrance, something that's crisp, something that's clean. And yes, it's mass appealing, but it smells good. And you're now starting to live this new philosophy of, hey, the way I dress, it's a form of offense. It's not just good enough to wear deodorant, make sure my clothing is clean. Yeah, that's playing defense. No, you want to be able to play on both sides of the ball. You realize my image, the way I dress, the way I smell, the way I look, it all plays into the way others perceive you and the way you perceive yourself. Day 6, this is about catch up. Anything that you weren't able to get done earlier, you're doing on this day. You're also observing yourself. You're paying attention to your new habits, your new rituals, and you're starting to look around. You realize that most men aren't paying attention. They don't see what you now see. And the few that do, well, you realize that these men carry themselves a little bit differently. You've probably noticed them before, but now you see them for what they are. Men that respect themselves, men that are on a mission, men who, like you, are the captains of their own ship and dress in a manner that they show respect to themselves and to those around them. And when you see another man like this, because you know of the effort, of the time that goes into this self-respect ritual, you pay him a compliment. And because you now speak the language, you can talk fluidly. Oh, those are beautiful brogues. Where did you get them? That's a nice bag. Is that made out of bison? And the interesting thing about this, especially if you're a single guy, you'll find that simply talking to people, going through that practice, makes it so easy to talk to everyone, including beautiful women. Because you realize that there are tons of us out there putting in the work. And when you recognize someone for the work that they put in, that right there is a compliment everybody loves to receive. Day 7, this is about celebration. So bring in one signature piece. Maybe it's going to be a watch. Maybe it's a piece of jewelry. Find something. You probably already have it in your wardrobe. Maybe you've been, hey, I want to wait for a special moment. Well, guess what? That moment is here because you have started to transform yourself. Are you where you want to be? No. But the most important part of a journey is that first step in the right direction. You committed, you promised somebody, and you promised yourself. Now take those pictures. This new image, this new profile, you're going to probably have people asking, wow, is this AI? And you'll be able to proudly say, no, this is really me. And it's at this point, gents, that I want to congratulate you on taking action. And by the way, if you're looking for help with accountability, you want a group of like-minded warriors looking to transform their image themselves, guys, check out the RMRS group. I'll link to it down in the description. It's absolutely free. You can join that group. You can post. You can engage with other men. They're looking to improve their image. And you can commit right there in that group to take the actions I outlined in this video. But remember, gentlemen, it's all about taking action. So if you really want this, commit. Become that man you know yourself to be. That being said, if you need more, guys, of course, I've got you covered with another video here at Real Men Real Style. Yeah, you want to learn how to transform your look, improve your image, boom, right here. Oh, yeah. Did you hear me burp? Sorry about that. Yeah. It's been a long day.